Hi everyone. For our podcast presentation, we will be focusing on Cool's Game Inc. Starting with introductions, we will be discussing their background information and their context. So, a quick summary about this podcast. Cool Games is a podcast that take viewer submissions via Twitter and subreddit as multimedia personalities Griffin McElroy and Nick Robinson discuss these submissions to design a hypothetical game. We chose this podcast because they are interactive with their viewers since they are involving their viewers' ideas through submissions. This podcast also has a creative concept of turning viewers' submissions into games with a comedic twist, going through around 10 submissions before choosing one or two to discuss during an episode. This podcast has two co hosts, Nick Robinson and Griffin McElroy, and occasionally some guests that would appear. Nick Robinson had worked with Polygon as a video producer since February 2015 and had helped produce the Rev3 Games web channel from 2012 to 2014. While he did work on the Cool Games podcast with his co-hosts, he and Griffin also worked on some side video projects together. For example, on Touch the Skyrim, they would install various mods into the Elder Scrolls vs. Skyrim until it crashes. Also, other videos they worked on is Let's Go to Hell and Carboys. Also to note, Nick Robinson had worked with Cool Games but left in 2017 after admitting to sexual assault on social media. The other host of the podcast, Griffin McElroy, has worked with Polygon as their deputy news editor in 2012 but would later become the senior editorial producer in 2014. He had a variety of podcast histories, such as working with his brothers on a comedy podcast called My Brother, and Me since 2012, co hosting a yearly podcast for Till Death Do Us Part since 2015, and co hosts a podcast with his wife called Wonderful since 2017. Polygon Productions is a video production company that specializes in music events and corporate videos and a variety of other content. The Cool Games podcast was recorded and produced by Polygon, as both the co-hosts was working under the company during that time. So here is a brief history about Cool Games. To reiterate, both Griffin and Nick were working under Polygon before Polygon pronounced and produced this podcast. The podcast launched their first episode on January 27th, 2016, called Grandma Wanted El Dante featuring Chris Grant, where they co-developed their debut video game, the world first smart glass enabled pasta shaman road-like Grandma Wanted El Dante. They had episodes every Friday and occasionally Saturday. Submissions for the videos were initially taken under a company-related Twitter, but due to the increasing popularity and an increased volume of submissions, they switched to subreddit to take submissions there. Podcast episodes will typically last around 55 to 65 minutes, but they also release some mini episodes that would release around 20 to 30 minutes. The podcast's last episode was on July 28th of 2017 due to Robinson's sexual misconduct. The audience of this podcast are usually mainly gamers, fans of Polygon, fans of Nerd Media, or fans of Griffin's other podcasts. Marketing was the company's responsibility, using their company Twitter, podcast Twitter, but they were also marketed with Fox Media. The podcast was received positively with an average of 4.8 stars on Apple Podcasts, and their short clips on YouTube will receive around 100,000 views. They have over 757 followers on Podbean and an overall 1,000 listeners for every podcast.
Now on to production techniques. To maintain consistency within the podcast, Cool Games Inc. adheres to a consistent format. That is, taking submissions, discussing them, and then deciding which of them is the best. Listeners are kept interested by the variety in submissions and the adherence to a viewer submission format. The submission format encourages viewers to tune in to the next episode, as there's a chance their ideas may be used. As for consistency within content, there really is only one format that most episodes follow. They read submissions brought in by viewers for a concept of a game, discuss the submission, and present fully fleshed out concepts to a third party, usually another Vox Media employee. This retains consistency, though there are a few tangents in the podcast, as this next clip will show.
I'm not so psyched about making another hiding game.
Understandably. Hold on a second. I think there's a repairman in my house, and I'm going to see if I can shut the door on him.
This guy just came into your fucking apartment?
Oh yeah, he just waltzed right in. Oh my god. Oh my, oh my god.
What?
All right, Griffin. So we had to take a quick pause on the podcast. It's because there's a guy doing a repair on my bathroom sink.
Uh-huh.
And I have an Amazon Dash button in there to order new rolls of toilet paper. And I just got a notification on my phone saying Dash button order placed for $10.86 of Charmin. So it's very tempting though when you open that cabinet and you see that button. You kind of gotta. It's hard not to press, and then it starts blinking. You're like, what does this do? Have you seen, like, the first episode of Season 2 of Better Call Saul where he sees that light switch? It's like that. You kinda gotta. So I'm out $10.69, but I guess we got a nice new load of Charmin in the mail.
This fucking guy, he just walked. Oh god. I just saw a button that said Charmin on it. It was like, oh, don't mind if I do. Click-a-roo.
Waiting for it to just drop from the ceiling or something.
Do you think he saw it light up? It was like, oh shit, oh no.
I who can say? Who knows?
There's no undash button that you can press in case you're like shitty kids or like, clicky click click.
I think the only way this could be better would be if my phone immediately lit up with 5 more notifications as he frantically pressed it to cancel it.
Oh, fuck.
So
oh
awesome.
My god, that's the funniest thing I've heard in maybe a year. Like, I've got a headache right now. Oh my god.
Editing in the show is kept pretty bare, and audio is almost entirely voiceover, save for the intro and outro music. As for whether we'd consider using this podcast as a model for our own, neither of us really plan to. My podcast will be structured and dictated entirely by my own ideas, and Min plans to focus on a different theme for each episode. Thank you for watching.